Terraria is deemed by many people to be 2D Minecraft, even though the games are very different. And as someone who once believed this, I set out to start a playthrough with a couple of my friends to see what the game was all about. So, let's meet them. Yep, that's the lineup for the playthrough. We decided to play on the very popular Calamity mod, which I'll explain a little bit more about as we go on. Well, I was supposed to have a non-modded playthrough, but we technically never finished the game, so I just scrapped the footage. For those who don't know, Calamity is a mod that adds bosses, items, and even more content. It also adds some banger music tracks. Regardless, after Nico decided to load up the world, we began our Calamity playthrough. Also, please subscribe, because this took a lot of time and effort to make, please. Anyway, enjoy the video, please. Thank you. This story starts with the 4 amigos. Why did I write that? Who decided I should write that as the first sentence? Anyway, this story starts with the 4 amigos beginning construction and exploring the world. Nico built the NPC house, which a lot of people do at the start. Ben built his own house. I built a sky platform, and Josh, well, he couldn't get in the game.
Calamity mod music, I have to install all this?
You lazy bum, you took way too long.
Back on Dead Cells.
Yo, if you go back on Dead Cells, I'm finding a new rogue.
He eventually got in, and since him and I have never played the game before, we kind of just walked around and mined a little bit, and thus I got off for the first night. In real life, by the way. When I woke up, Nico had gotten me some armor, health, and educated me of the legendary Muramasa. So, let me tell you about it. The Muramasa was a sword that was created by a Japanese blacksmith in the 16th century. He wanted to create the most powerful sword of all time. However, he didn't understand what this would do. He went to test it out, and the sword was too powerful. It was cursed and wanted blood. In fear of what the blade could do, he locked the blade in a casing and put it away in a secret lab deep in the underworld. The Muramasa is told to only deem someone worthy of its use once they have slain all of the great forces up until the Devourer of Gods. Anyway, let's get back to the actual game. Josh and I decided to make the lightning boots before we took on our very first challenge. Our first fight was against the king of all slimes, King Slime, and as Nico held the slime crown in his hand, I prepared, took a deep breath, and the king was lured, and he appeared. We began to fight it, swinging, shooting, evading, and after a little bit of time, it went down. The first boss fight. And feeling good about defeating King Slime, we decided to continue to defeat more bosses. We took down the Eye of Cthulhu, the first of many snake bosses, the Desert Scourge, and the ancient giant clam. After all of these wins, we decided to create trophies to show our accomplishments of defeating these bosses. After a few more minutes of kind of just walking around, I started my epic house. And then I got DC'd right as I started it. I love this game. Once I got back, however, Nico, Ben, and I decided to hunt down and kill Crabulon, which is this just giant crab. Just kind of obvious because the name Crabulon, because like crab is in the first. Afterwards, we had to fight the other main part of Cthulhu, his brain. The fight was much more difficult than the Eye of Cthulhu, as the brain could send out a bunch of projectiles, it could teleport, and it could create clones of itself to trick us. The fight gave us some insight as to the journey we had really begun. Once the brain was at pretty low health, the brain began to create more clones of itself to trick us, and it actually worked. Both Nico and I died, leaving Ben to fight it by himself. He tried his best, but it wasn't enough, and the brain of Cthulhu escaped. We headed back to the Crimson Biome, and I felt a chill down my spine. We heard the brain emerge again. We lured it to the surface and immediately took out half of its health, but once it got to low health, we got a bit more nervous because Ben was left all alone to fend for himself once again. However, this time was different. Ben refused to lose, and he outlived the brain until Nico and I respawned. And finally, after all the time of fighting it, the brain of Cthulhu went down. And with the win, I began my long arc of wearing the Eye of Cthulhu mask as a vanity set, which means it doesn't change any of my stats, but it looks cool. I mean, you gotta admit, it looks pretty cool. And I used it to show my victory above Cthulhu. Or so I thought. But for now, I just continue to upgrade my armor and tools until the next fight. During this time, I got the Molten Armor, which I would keep for the rest of pre-hard mode and the rest of this video. And along with that, I also got some more stuff for vanity, like the Mystic Robe and the Medallion. Not sure why I put that in the script, but like, if you wanted to know, there you go. Along with that, I also got my favorite sword in the whole game, the, for now, Broken Biome Blade. I mean, how can you not love this thing? Look at it. That's so cool. That's so cool. I can fly across the map with my sword. That's sick. Anyway, with this new powerful sword, we decided to take on the Queen Bee. So how did that go? Well, we absolutely destroyed it, and I actually only died once this time. So for the sake of items, we fought it again and again. And after getting all the items that we needed, we began our next mission. Kill Skeletron. So after a pretty difficult fight, breaking all of his hands and his skull, we beat him. Ben needed something from the Desert Scourge bag, so I decided to help him out by spawning it in Nico's house.
Just trying to enjoy my
Home wreckers.
Why is the whole boss in my house? Get out of here, bro. Why is it? Oh my.
Nico, just like get out of your house, low key.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy about that. Sorry, man. But that wasn't important. We were all geared up and ready for the next challenge, Deerclops. And after pretty minimal struggle, me, Nico, and Josh managed to take it down. Oh yeah, Josh is here. He just has been gone for like a while. And he hasn't fought like half the bosses with us. But he's here now, so yay. Anyway, we beat Deerclops, and then when I was organizing my loot, the Perforator Hive began to attack. And I immediately realized this was going to be the hardest boss that we have fought so far. We got it down to half health, and it began to start spawning worms to fight us. We continued to fight it the best we could, and it actually went down on the first try. And next up, the second to last boss of pre-hard mode. Yeah, I know this video is going at like breakneck pace. I wrote this script like a really long time ago, and I'm sorry if you don't like the fact that this video is very fast. I'll try to fix it in the next script, which was the Slime God, or gods. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's two of them. It's kind of confusing. Okay, so I just took a closer look at it, and I think the Slime God is the flying booger thing. I'm not sure though. Or it could just be the Slime Gods. We don't know. We don't know. Anyway, Slime God is a pretty difficult boss because there are two of them, and both of the bosses are very, very tanky. I struggled specifically a lot on this fight, and I died more than 10 times because I got double teamed and I couldn't do anything about it. We continued the fight and got so close, and randomly, it just despawned. I'm not too sure how it did that, but we fought it again and we beat it that time. And with that win, we had one left. Began to feel nervous as I knew the wall of flesh would not be easy. I had to begin to gear up, so I got a new fit and began to collect the last sword I would need, the Knight's Edge. I kept all of the previous swords and combined them in the Crimson to create the sword. I also made the Fractured Arc during this time, which afterward I decided to have a revolver duel, and he did this. Yeah, I knew it. I freaking knew it. You monkey.
This is my revolver, my fish revolver.
Gun.
Oh, you think you can outgun me?
No, I'm running, I'm gone, dude, I'm gone. Get me out! Yeah, these are the shenanigans that we do when we aren't fighting literal world destroyers. Moving back to actually being serious. To fight the Wall of Flesh, we were going to need an arena to fight it, so we began to build a bridge in the underworld. After the bridge was complete, we were finally ready for the final fight. And so, we all got on a steed.
Look at this, I got a flamingo.
Oh yeah!
And the fight began. I could immediately tell that this boss was gonna be unbelievably difficult. It was an immovable wall with many eyeballs and arms attached to it. I had to do something about it, so I tossed my Knight's Edge at it to weaken it. And it actually began to feel possible after that. So we continued to send a flurry of attacks its way. It was half health and I died, and after becoming revived, I tried to help the best I could, and after I got back, it was over. We beat the unbeatable and took down the Wall of Flesh. It was over. However, we knew this wasn't the end of everything, and we still had the entirety of hard mode to beat. And I knew I had to find the secret of the Muramasa. But for now, we decided to celebrate our accomplishment, opening our boss bags and preparing for hard mode. But that is for a later day. And for now, thank you all for watching all the way through. This is one of the first scripts that I've written, and I think it shows, because it is very short, and this video did go at breakneck pace. I'm sorry if you didn't like that. I will be making the video much longer, now that I have an example of how long scripts are, depending on the page numbers, and now that I have kind of a outline of it, I'm definitely gonna go into more detail in later scripts and for the next 2 videos of the series. And I hope you guys did enjoy the video still. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this, including the 2 other videos in this series. But once again, thank you. Always be kind, and always have a smile. Peace.